Hello, welcome back to another episode of the YepBoat podcast. Today is a very exciting one, lots of cool things to talk about. So let's get into it. I'll, of course, first talk about the meta, because there was a big patch. New tribes are buffed. I'm winning a lot of games, a lot of cool stuff, so hopefully I can help you adapt to the changes a lot quicker as well. Then I'll talk about a big tournament that I might be a part of soon, so small teaser. Then discussing armor. I wanted to do an entire separate video on armor, but I decided to just do it in a podcast episode instead because there's a lot to talk about. I see so many different takes, so I'm going to take all the pros, all the cons, compare them, and try and get like a general consensus on, if it's good or if it's bad for the game. Then I'll talk a little bit about heroes and other random stuff that I want to mention. And Tamsin, the new hero. What about her? But let's get into it. First of all, I do want to say that I knew last episode I said this might be the special episode. Sadly, I still need to wait on things, so maybe next episode will be the special one that I've been working on for a while. We'll see. All I can do is wait. It's pretty annoying, but it is what it is. But yeah, let's move on. Talk about the meta. Talk about the game. So Quilboars got buffed, Bards got buffed, and I think it's noticeable, yeah, to a degree. I did win a Quilboar game. I won a pirate game without high rolling, so I haven't done that in the previous meta, meaning there is some sort of change. Now, one thing I will mention is that in my games, I felt like too many people were confused by what's going on. Like, there's so many new things, so many changes that I think people were pepegaying. If you don't know what pepegaying is, it means they're doing just random shit. They don't know what the hell they're doing, and they're kind of throwing their games. I felt like I was facing so many random boards, or so many boards that were on average a little bit weaker than before, that I could get away with some stuff like Quilboars, Menagerie. I played a Curator Menagerie game, which is on the channel already, I think. I played all sorts of weird games. I was able to get like consistent MMR out of them. So what I realized is that the meta right now is still developing. I think you can still get away with a lot of stuff. Maybe in 1 or 2 weeks from now, we will have like a stable thing. Like, as always, things stabilize, and then it's either tempo, greedy. There's like a couple of combos and heroes that are best, and strategies. We'll see where it heads, but for now, have fun. I think you can have fun. We'll see for how long. Now, the good heroes are still good. That's one thing I'll say. Janus, Hooktusk, like the Gallywakes are all still strong, so you can still play high roll. You can still get multiple triples. Do what you did before and win games. But there's more playable heroes. I've been winning with Yogg, like I said, Curator, heroes that I usually don't take because they're fun, because they get armor as well. Armor is making more heroes playable, more strategies viable, so that's been great to see. And also tempo, I feel like if you just play strong shit, you're fine most of the time. Like, if I find nothing, I stay on 4 and I play Menagerie, right? I just hit mid-trex. Mid-trex can carry a lot because his stats are valuable. Just play for whatever you want to play for early on. You will be able to get a top 4 if you play properly, if you don't high roll. Of course, high roll heroes will still win the lobby, but that will always be the case. So meta, tempo wise, didn't change too much. It's more of how you can get that tempo on the board that changed. The possibilities in the heroes that you can take, and the cards that you can take, the setups that you can have. So that's, I think, all I can really say about the meta. I played like only like 4 or 5 hours total, so I think I just need a bigger sample size, or I need to play the coming days to really see how things stabilize, how things go. Maybe I just played at an hour where there were a lot of bad people online, so that's why my lobbies were pepega. I don't know. I still got a lot of MMR out of them, so I don't think the power level of the lobbies or the players were that bad. But anyway, hope you can use this info. I think it's the best info I can give right now. Let's move on to the tournament. So the tournament is Twitch Rivals, happening the 22nd. So in a couple days, actually. I'll be streaming it on Twitch. I don't have a time yet. I'll follow me on Twitter if you don't know. Like, all my updates come on Twitter whenever something happens. Memes mainly. So I might also post it in the community tab on YouTube. But yeah, it's one of the biggest tournaments I've played in. It's also with a team. I think I'm so honored and privileged to be joining a team with some of the best players. I'm not going to spoil yet who. I'll also let you guys know on Twitter who my teammates are as soon as people are revealing teams. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I'm really excited to play alongside these guys. I've been grinding a lot, so I've been playing a lot off stream, trying to focus, trying to get better, and I feel like I am finally like getting to the level where I was before. Now my MMR is shit, but that's mainly because I'm putting a lot of time into these videos. I've been posting 2 daily videos I've been working on other projects. I'm still making 2 daily videos for Slysssa. Like, my time is very limited, but from what I am able to put into the game, I feel like I'm getting a lot in return. Now that's that's kind of just bragging, but no, I just want to, or I just hope that you guys will enjoy the show. 22nd of we're November, 22nd of November, a couple days on Twitch. That's it. Because it's been a while since I played in tournaments, and most of the time you guys really enjoy watching some high stakes performance Battlegrounds games, so you'll get that. Armor. Now, first thing I want to say about armor is that when I made the patch video, dude, the comments were filled with people saying, oh, this is so good, it's nice balancing, it fixed some issues, and people saying it's just lazy, it's bad, it's gonna break the game. So I'm gonna go over everything. Now, one thing that is important that like to realize, especially on the internet with debates like this, is there's always like 2 sides, right? And I made up my mind at first as well which side I'm on, and most people. And it's easy to fall into this trap or into an echo chamber where you try to validate your own points and ignore the others. Let me give an example. If I think armor is good or if armor is bad, I'll just like all the, or look for arguments that support my view, and I'll ignore all the others. That is just how the internet works. That's literally how algorithms work. Like, an extreme example, flat earthers. Why do you think they believe in a flat earth? It sounds ridiculous, but that's because once they believe in it, they find so many theories, so many videos that support their theory. They're literally looking actively for it. And because of algorithms on YouTube, and they get fed those videos, and whenever they see things about a round earth, they ignore it, or they just say that's fake. And it's easy to fall, like, I just have an idea and go with it. So one important thing that I've been trying a lot as well is stay open-minded, I guess, and once you have an idea, to try and understand the other side. You know, it's important. With Battlegrounds as well, I've been playing with other players that have different playstyles from me. Reason being, I know what's good and what's bad. But here's an example I bring up every time. Even in top play, the best players on the leaderboard disagree on plays. They might make different plays, and they think this is better, tempo, for example, or discard. And the others would say, no, this is better. And they try and, you know, of course, validate their opinion. But I've been trying to just say, fuck my opinion. I'll try and learn other people's opinions. And I think the best player that you could be is be neutral. To not have to have preferred playstyles, but to be able to look at everything from a view from both sides. That's an entire tangent. I don't know why I went on that. I think it's just something that is important to say on the internet, because especially, you know, what I've noticed being a content creator, making videos, tweeting, Twitch, people are so eager to pick a side, stick with it, and nothing can change their mind. So I would love, because whenever I talk about something as well in this podcast or whatever video, people will just super hard disagree, and no matter what you say, you can never get them to agree. It's fine if you don't agree, but at least try and understand, you know? Okay, let's start with the pros of armor. So what is good about this armor change? First of all, it's pretty easy, right? Like, you just slap armor on bad heroes and they become better. It seems like a very easy way to balance heroes that are complex to balance and quick. So I think it can be hotfixed super quickly. So if there's like an outlier hero, like a 2-weak hero, a 2-strong hero, literally I think within a couple seconds they can launch a hotfix, and the armor is adjusted. So it should be relatively easy and fast for them to balance and keep track of how heroes perform, meaning we might have some of the most balanced metas ever coming up for the next couple months if they just keep up with this, right? Because this is like kind of a chore, they have to do it regularly. If they only balance armor like once every month or 2 months, then there's no reason, like the purpose of armor is kind of thrown out of the window, right? Like, because it feels like the big upside is the flexibility and how easy and quick you can find solutions and fix things that are broken in the game. So that's, I think, a major pro. Another one is that it keeps interesting hero powers in the game without completely reworking them. Like, Shadowwalk was bad, right? It was 1 gold, in case you don't know, to double your next battle cry. It sucks. You can make it 0 gold and then maybe it's playable, but they had to completely rework how the hero worked because you couldn't really balance the hero power properly. Another good example is, I guess, Rafam. Rafam now is a decent hero, right? Pretty good. But how would you buff or nerf him? Make his hero power go 0 or 2? It makes him broken or unplayable. His hero power concept you can't really change, or it's a completely new hero. So how to balance heroes like that is super rough. It's almost impossible without changing the fundamental core concept of his hero power. And there's where armor comes into play. You're able to keep interesting hero powers without changing them or altering them too much. And you're able to balance unbalanceable heroes, by using like a mechanic that is outside of their hero power. I hope that was a good way to explain it, but essentially, yeah, Rafam, you can give him more armor, less armor to balance him instead of touching with his hero power. You could have given Shadowwalk more armor, maybe that makes him playable and gets to keep that cool hero power into the game. So I think that's a neat way to solve these issues, to solve heroes that are hard to buff or nerf. Because yeah, like for example, Guff and Queen Whack Toggle, they all give +1/+1 now. They gave +2/+1 before, but that was too strong. So what step is there in between? Make their hero power give +1/+2, might be too strong. Make it cost 2 gold. I feel like most of the changes will kill the heroes or make them too strong. So then armor makes sense. Last but not least, I'll say that overall armor has seemed to be a positive impact. Just objectively, I think it's a net positive. I think the game is better off with armor than without armor. That's arguable, but so far I've been having fun. I feel like more things are playable. I think like it didn't introduce more problems. As long as armor doesn't makes the game actively worse or comes with fundamental flaws, then it's a healthy mechanic, and I'm happy for it to be there as long as it's followed up and it's not just slapped onto the game and just forgotten about. They gotta keep track on balancing it and maybe making changes in the future, because there are still a lot of things that are wrong with it. So now onto the cons, things that are wrong with it. One thing I've seen a lot is that it just seems like lazy balancing. Like you just slap armor onto your hero because you don't know how to balance it or how to buff or nerf it. Now I don't think it's lazy balancing. Like I know that the team is capable of reworking heroes, but it does seem like they're neglecting other issues with it. What I mean is that if you give a hero armor or no armor, that doesn't take away from like core issues or problems with the hero. Like with Jandace, giving Jandace no armor and other heroes armor doesn't matter. She still has 2 5-drops on turn 6 if she has a token on turn 1 and still wins the lobby. Same with other heroes. Like if you give a hero like Guff now 10 armor, he'll still lose most of the time because the armor doesn't matter. He still has a shit hero power, and I guess he could now have 1 or 2 average placements higher just because he has more health. So that comes to my second point. They neglect other issues and they basically turn bad heroes into patchworks. Every bad hero turns into a patchwork. They just give more health as a solution, which I'm not that happy with it. Like, why is patchwork in the game then if every hero is gonna get more health anyway? We see how bad patchwork is, and we see how bad it is to have no hero power and a lot of health, which is patchwork. He has no hero power, he just has health to work with, and he's a horrible hero right now. And why would that work on other heroes? If they still have a horrible, unplayable hero power and you give them more health, logically the same effect is gonna happen and it's not gonna be big of a difference. So I think armor has been good, like I said, but on the majority of heroes, it doesn't have a big impact. Bad heroes stay bad, good heroes stay good, right? Because that comes to my third point, it mainly benefits heroes that have high roll potential. Now, I'll give an example. Eudora is a hero that probably benefit a lot from armor because she is able to spike and she often loses games because she dies too early. But if she gets 1 extra turn, she's able to maybe stabilize and spike and high roll. So heroes that need that 1 extra turn probably use the armor in an effective way. Same with Alexstrasza. Alexstrasza, you can power level straight to 5. The issue is that you either died or you're able to stabilize and just high roll the lobby. Now you get like, I don't know how much armor Alex get, but let's say like 8 armor. That might save you a hit, might give you 1 extra turn to find the pair on like Razorgore, Triple into Nadina, all that stuff. So heroes that are bad but high rolly are the only ones that got a benefit out of this because they now have potential or the opportunity to use that high roll and get that extra turn. Now, heroes that are tempo heroes don't care about armor. If you're playing Kaltas or Yogg or like most heroes that just play for tempo early game, what does the armor matter? Because essentially your hero power is only early game anyway. Your hero power, all it's gonna do is make you strong early on, and then, you know, you gotta transition that into something. So armor doesn't matter. If you're not able to transition something from your early game, you'll die later on to high roll heroes anyway. I might do a pain video on that because I think it's better to explain visually with curves, like the power level of heroes. You have like these kind of curves. You have these kind of curves. I mean, if you're listening on Spotify, you can't see. It's stupid for me to try and visualize them with my hands. But yeah, people spike in different turns in the game, and they spike at different heights, or they spike at different proportions. That makes sense. Like, some heroes just need that extra turn and they can out-hyrule others. And other heroes, they miss the spike and then they fall off, and the armor is literally not mattering because they can't stabilize off it or use that health properly. Heroes that use health as a resource for more potential are the ones that are the big winners here. And when it comes to bad heroes, that's not too many, sadly. So that was a pretty long point. It comes to the fourth point. Armor needs to be balanced with tribes. Like, tribes are such a big deal. Some heroes are amazing with some tribes in and completely garbage if they're out. Good example is, again, Gallywix. Like, if you don't have let's say pirates, elementals, stuff like that into the lobby, or tokens, then his hero power is really shit, and he should be worse. Well, if elementals is in and tokens are in, he's one of the best heroes in the game, S tier maybe, and he gets armor. That's kind of weird. Like, the same with Janice. If there's no tokens in the lobby, Janice is really bad without Murlocs, so then she might benefit of some armor. They really need to incorporate tribes somehow into the armor system, which makes it maybe way too complex. Maybe it will make, like, because now we have a nice visual tier list of what heroes are good, what heroes are bad, and then I guess that's not possible anymore unless you make a tier list for every tribe in the lobby or out of the lobby. So I think the nice visual representation will be gone, but it will balance the game more, because it's a huge deal to some heroes whether or not some tribes are in the lobby. So I'd love to see that change. I don't think that will happen though, because it seems like it will make things a bit too complex for players to understand. But it might be necessary if you really want to get the most out of armor and not have issues in the long run. Now, last but not least, it also changes on MMR. It seems like they just took win rates for the majority of people, and that's bad, because they said Shutterwalk and Gallywix, for example, were bad heroes, so they get a lot of armor. But in high rank, they're insane heroes, giving insane heroes a lot of armor. Yeah, they're pretty good. I think Gallywix is insane if you have the right tools in the lobby, the right tribes, and Shutterwalk as well if you hit the tokens. So, and then you have bad heroes that they rated well. Like, apparently N'Zoth is like the second tier and gets pretty much no armor. It gets some armor, but he sucks. I think I would never take that hero. I've never played him, never seen him get top 4. Yet, I think for the majority of people, or when they just look at win rate, apparently he's decent. So that comes also with issues in MMR ranges. Like in high MMR play, the armor doesn't really have a good effect, because there's a lot of weak heroes getting no armor, a lot of strong heroes getting armor. So I think for the competitive integrity, for the leaderboard players or people that are above 10k MMR, let's say, there needs to be changes as well. But again, that might complicate the system. I think they just need to get like a couple pro players onto their team, or to like just do a collaboration and have them help construct a tier list or solve these issues. There's so many passionate high rank players that I see be vocal about this on Twitter and everywhere. I am very vocal about this stuff on YouTube, and I always try to criticize things and then try and give solutions if possible. There's so many solutions and fixes to issues that we are facing right now that would make the game so much healthier, so much better. Like, just rework the Murloc token already to a different kind of token that fixes Jandice, Hooktusk, Shutterwalk, that fixes almost all of the high roll issues right now. But yeah, that's the pros and the cons for armor. So general consensus, what do I think of armor? I'm happy it's there. I think it's a good, or like, it's a mechanic that's healthy. It's gonna be overall, like I said, a net positive. It's good that they introduced it, but there's a lot of things that need to be looked at, or in the long run, it might turn toxic. And I, talked about everything that they had to look at and all of the cons. And if some of those are resolved, I'll be happy, and I think it will be a good addition. But right now, it's like on the edge. I'm very neutral about it. I'm able to play on new heroes. I'm able to, have a bit more fun. I think they could do some good balancing with it. But yeah, so far I'm kind of in the middle, and depending on what they do next, if they make changes, I'll be probably more towards happy with armor, right? And if they decide to neglect it and just, this is the armor, that's it, and not touch it, I'll be pretty sad about it. I'll still be happy that it's in the game. It's better in the game than out of the game. But I'll still be sad about it because, well, some games are gonna be decided by maybe Gallywix getting armor, who knows, right? But there's more urgent things, of course, that they need to take care of still, and I hope this is not just their solution to fixing the urgent things. Like that damage cap, I think damage cap is a great comparison. I think it's a good addition into the game. It's been healthy, it's been nothing but fun to play with, because you know you don't take 30 damage on turn 6 against agendas, for example, right? So it's overall good. But again, it's like a band-aid. It didn't fix the Jandish problem, didn't fix high rolls. Like, whether you take 15 damage or 30 damage, you still not win the game. You still lose to that same guy. So the same issues are still there, but it does make the game overall a bit healthier, right? So far, good changes, but we need to see fundamental changes still. That's my armor rant. Hope this was in-depth enough, and I hope you could follow along and agree with some of these. If you have more points though, no more pros or cons, please leave them in the comments below, because these were all that I could find and all that I could think of. But of course I might overlook things, right? I'm only human. I only have like so much time to put into this. And let's move on now to the balance patch. I don't know why Cookie or Sneed wasn't nerfed. Like, Cookie is insanely good. But again, there's other insanely good heroes that need to be nerfed that aren't nerfed, so maybe Cookie is bad in low ranks, I don't know. Same with Sneed. Sneed is so toxic. We've talked a lot about Sneed. They did nerf Tank, which therefore kind of nerfs Sneed. But I still think Sneed needs a change. I think he's just not fun to play against. Yeah, I just wanted to mention that because I don't really understand them not changing heroes. They didn't nerf or buff any heroes, by the way. They only worked with cards. And they kept on adding heroes. They keep on adding to the pool. Once again, they keep on adding more heroes instead of balancing the bad ones and taking heroes out and making things, you know, healthier again for the game. I feel like I've been saying that a lot, making things healthier for the game. Sorry if I keep repeating myself. Last but not least, let's talk about Tamsin the New Hero. When I made the video, I think the video blew up with comments as well of people saying either she's trash, which is what I said, and people saying that she is good or she's broken if you hit Zaragoza, if you hit big elementals, it pops your Nardina or your Savjz hero. It's good with this and that. But guys, remember, that doesn't matter. It can be good with certain things, but you need to find those certain things and stay alive. If you don't have a hero power for the first 7 turns into the game, you're dead. If you are only relying on your hero power popping a Selfless or an Nadina, that's really bad. That might even be bad, like actively bad, because if you play Nadina first as Selfless, it can attack in and pop, right? And shield your board. What's the point of hero powering it instead and shielding your board? It's even worse because the attack might matter. Like maybe your Selfless or Nadina attacking first can bump a shield of their Amalgadon, can bump or deal some damage into something. Now it pops and it literally could be worse for you or lower your win rate. So that argument is kind of bad. I don't agree or like the argument at all of it can pop this or that. Mid-game it does nothing. With Zaragoza, that's horrible. If you don't know how she plays or why she's bad, I would suggest you check out my video on her. I did play her. I give you my full in-depth thoughts. I'm not going to go too deep into it this episode. But yeah, she has a lot of issues. A lot of things that people think are good with her are just too hard to make work. And yeah, I compared it with Demon Hunter or Illidan. Same deal, like it's good if you double Makar, 2 massive cleaves, or there's so much potential, but how good is Demon Hunter? Not good, because early on you do nothing, you die. It's so hard to find all those good cards and get the actual good plays going with him. So it is more like dreaming about the possibilities of a hero than actually implementing it. That is the issue here. So I think Tamsin just needs a rework. They need to change either just keeping the health. Like I need to test it. I don't know how broken it is if you keep the health permanently, if you can target what card you eat every turn, stuff like that. There's so many things you can change and mess around with. I hope they do that. And with that, I think I'm going to round up here. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We talked about the meta, the tournament that's happening the 22nd. Don't forget to follow on Twitch if you want to see it. The armor, I spent most of the time talking about armor because, again, I wanted to do a dedicated video on it, but instead I decided to just pack it in here. Hopefully the next episode is a special one, and if not, I'll try to get another guest on and just talk about the game of Battlegrounds. And that's about it. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, or if you're listening on Twitch, to keep listening. Thank you. And I'll see you next time. Have a good day, and good luck on the Battlegrounds.